Nation, this is Ron with RTR Gearheads, and we're back on the upgrades on the 2002 TJ Wrangler, and we're going to be working on the rear bumper. When we started, it has these end caps. You're more than likely going to break them because that's the only thing that's going to be a beast, because they have speed clips, and of course, like I said, this is a 02, so you know, at least 23 years old, and they like to break free from the plastic. But other than that, you have these two bolts, and you have this one has a hook on the back, so there'll be two bolts there and one bolt over there. But let me get you guys set up. Okay, the bolts that I mentioned are 19 3/4, and we're going to start off with the bottom ones first. Like I said, on this side there's two hooks. Two bolts for a hook, and that one there's only one because they don't have a hook on that side. The bolts up here, the two, there are the bottom bolt we can get with the gun. The top bolt we're gonna have to actually use the ratchet. So, headphone warning. Okay, they're smaller than that. Smaller. That one came out. Let me see here. The gun is not always a good thing when it comes to that. See, the gun was too much torque on it, so we'll use the ratchet real quick. Okay, let me get the bottoms out, and I'll be back with you as soon as we go to do the side ones. I didn't think 17 fit on there. We'll try. And it is spinning. There's always got to be one. It's going to be this one. Yep. Got a screwdriver. Okay, I am back here, and really quick, I'll show you. In here is where the bolts are. This bottom one for the hook, it's like I said, it's got 2 bolts, one here, one here. This one is also pretty much a speed clip. It's inside the frame and actually has a tab, so when you go to loosen it, it catches the nut and it won't move, so the bolt can come out. That's stripped out. But here we go. I've only got this one bolt left to remove here, and let us get onto that here, and I'll show you this rear bumper coming off. The ratchet. And I stand corrected. I'm actually using a 18 millimeter, not a 3/4 or a 19. And that hook, the bolt that's stuck up in that hook, what I'll end up doing is just grinding the head of the nut off. The kit that the owners bought actually has a hitch mount also, so you have the bumper and hitch mount underneath of it. But here we go with the rear bumper. That's simple. There it is. Let me go grab the replacement parts and I'll be back with you guys. I know the replacement does actually use these 2 holes, but then there's a bracket and we'll have to drill these 2 holes out there and on that side also. That way we'll have a total of 4 bolts in there, and I believe I've got to look at the one that was purchased for this, that it might actually have bottom bolts also. But I will be back with you here shortly. Okay, so what we actually got was the Quadratec QR3 tube winch mount bumper set, which actually comes with a tow hitch, like I said, a receiver hitch, comes with the bumper. So when you buy, and it also has side steps, which we're going to do when we do the body lift on this. But when you buy the bumper set up, you'll actually get 2 sets of hardware, so you could actually just mount the hitch on there, or you can mount the hitch and the bumper set on there. Now with the TJs, what ends up happening is the 2 original holes for the original bumper are here, and you're gonna have to drill 2 holes here and over there. I'm gonna mark them center. It says to use a 3/16 drill bit for a pilot hole and then a 1/2 inch for final. So what I'm gonna do is actually mark these and use my step drill, one of my step bits. So I'll be back in a minute after I get these marked. So I actually did end up taking a 3/16 and drilling pilot holes. You got to be real careful because you can see the tank is right behind there, but you shouldn't be going any further than you need to go on these, or you end up taking the drill through your fuel tank, which wouldn't be good. I mean, you could probably still put fuel in the vehicle, you could just never top it off. So now that this is like this, what I will do is go ahead and remove the bracket and drill the 1/2 inch with my step bit. Let me go ahead and get these out real quick. These are 17s, by the way, that come in the kit. And I'll actually have a picture up here of Quadratec's site that lists this kit on there. The actual kit and the part number and everything. Okay. This top mount, this top bolt can be a little bit because it's actually the body mount. The rear body mount is actually right here. So getting that ratchet in there can be fun. Not really. So let's see. Alright. There's that. I'm gonna leave that hang right there for now. Like I said, I do have a Milwaukee step bit, and there's 1/2 inch. So I'm just gonna keep an eye. Like I said, you have the original plate here from the frame, and if you look at the depth of it, you shouldn't be going any further than that. So you just have to ensure that you're very careful with drilling. Again, headphone warning. 1/2 inch is about halfway up there. Let's see, because there's 1/2 inch. Okay. Keep going in and make sure I'm not cutting into the tank. Okay. Okay, almost to 1/2 inch. Next, now just 1/2 inch. Nowhere near the tank. Nowhere near the tank. Make it a little clean. Now for the top one. 1/2 inch. Almost there. 2 more notches. Both of them are at 1/2 inch. So you should be able to go up and in like so. I'm gonna do the other side, and once I get these drilled out and mounted up, I'll be back with you. So here we go. Both brackets are on. This set right here, because of the fuel tank, I ended up putting the bolts from the inside out and locking them down. So I'm gonna go in and grab the hitch and the bumper and see where we get from there. Okay, so after getting the brackets off that I used just to set up and mark those 4 holes, I said you can use those brackets if you're just using the bumper, but I got the hitch mount, or receiver mount, all bolted up and secured, and now we're going to go ahead and put the bumper on. And these 2 holes, I'll show you on the bumper also. It has 3, but it'll actually be the top mounting holes that we're going to use. So here we go. So we're going to go ahead and lift it up and get the bolts started. And there's a nut washer, bolt, flat washer. We'll go through another flat washer, a lock washer, and then a nut. So here we go. Now this is a hit or miss. It's really not. Right here. Okay. Here, I'll show you all once I actually get it up there. Need another lock washer. There you are. Sorry about that. Okay. And then the last one over here. Once I get this on, I'll go ahead and get them all snugged up. And then go to a nice outro, and just a real quick summary. This is just the rear and the receiver hitch. The receiver, excuse me. We will be doing a separate one on the front bumper, and which goes with this set also. And we'll also be doing the side steps when we do the body mount portion of the mount. So let me get these tightened up and I'll be back. All right, YouTube Nation, it's gonna wrap up this one here as far as the rear bumper installation of this QR3 kit from Quadratec. Everything is snugged down. Do have the receiver hitch now, the bumper, and like I said, we'll have another video on the other two components of this. But that wraps this one up, and like I said, it's pretty simple. Just remember that when you get the kit, if you get that kit from Quadratec, that you will have 2 brackets. But if you're using the receiver, just use those brackets, the individual brackets, to mark your inner holes that you have to drill. Then you can take them back off because the receiver hitch has those brackets incorporated in it. So go ahead, hit like, subscribe, let us know what you all think of our content. Thank you for your time, and we'll have more on this one coming up hopefully this week. Thanks for watching.